Hello, my darlings! How are you all doing today? Hello, everyone! Oh my god, there's so many people today. Hello! First of all, let's take care of this first, the important stuff. Thank you, membership to Virtual. Thank you so much. Welcome. And thank you, membership to Sabine. Happy 6 months. And the symbol before it starts. Nice. And thank you, membership to DM8. And thank you, membership to Assertive. Happy 6 months. Thank you, everyone. Hi. Hi, Neela. Good to see you. Oh, if you haven't heard yet, if you haven't heard the news, you can check that right over on my YouTube page. But Roses and Ribbons is going to come out next week on the 24th. We have a premiere page set up and everything, so go check that out. It's gonna be a collab with me and Neela. But yes, hello everyone. Oh my god. It's been a minute, hasn't it? It's been a minute. Okay. Let's do this. So today we're gonna be doing a viewer submission track review. So the submissions is gonna be for members only, and I am taking live submissions as for the time being. I may need to close it later, but if you are a member, please read the text on the bottom of the video. Go over to the membership channel on Discord and there should be a link pinned. Also, I posted the link as well. So yeah, just make sure to read the rules. SoundCloud and Discord upload only. And make sure there's nothing like not safe for work or whatever. So yeah. I guess I'll just start from the beginning. Oh, I should say, for the live submissions and for everything that's like been submitted like recently, like within the last day or two, I believe the mods are still adding check marks to all of them. So big shout outs to the mods. They're listening to it for me just to like make sure y'all didn't put anything bad in them. So yeah. Big thank you to the mods for this stream. Okay. Let's go. Alright, I forgot to check audio before doing this, but let's start off our first submission. Actually, let's check audio before we do this. I'll just play this for now. Like... Okay, can I still talk over this? Like, that much? All good? I'll raise it a tiny bit. Okay. Our first submission. I'm gonna put you on the spot here by being number one. But the first person to submit was Ocean, so we're gonna be listening to Ocean's song titled Synthwave number 7. Alrighty. Oh, thank you, membership to Case. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Okay. Why don't we get started, shall we? I'm very excited to hear everyone's work. I will say, to preface this, I don't actually listen to a lot of synthwave, so I don't even know if my thoughts will be of any like use, but Okay, so first of all, I have some initial opinions on this. I really like the chord progression, how it's not being just on the like downbeats, you know? I feel like that happens with a lot of synthwave, and why I don't listen to it a lot is because all the chord changes are like, it's like F minor 2 3 4, C sharp major 2 3 4, and it's like everything just falls on the beat. But I like that there's some variety to it, like happening on the offbeats and whatnot. Nice, Reese. All about panning, so nice. Okay, I'm gonna make some quick comments here. So one thing I noticed. Wait, pause. One thing I noticed so far, is the percussion is kind of like in the back. I do think it needs to be brought out a little bit more because it's like a four on the floor groove, and it kind of. So this is how I sort of think of it when producing at like low BPMs like this. I feel like the percussion just needs to be pronounced, and percussion includes all the drums, all the toms, all the little hats that are thrown in there. Because even if it's four on the floor, like it's a pretty simple rhythm, I think it's sort of, with the way the sidechain works and all, I think it just sort of sections everything off into like neat organized sections. It's almost like if you got like a bunch of like, I don't know, like M&Ms or whatever. Did you ever do this in like elementary school or okay, but got like a bunch of M&Ms and like scatter them on your desk, and you were to like take a credit card and then like slide it every like four M&Ms and then like kind of organize them up. I don't know like what I'm even talking about here, but it kind of makes everything nice to listen to. And the more pronounced those little breaks are, the easier it will be to kind of process everything and make it a little bit easier to listen to, which is always a good thing for songs. Okay, I don't know where I was going with that analogy, but you know what I mean, right? Thank you, membership to Retro. Thank you, welcome. Oh, the double time. That's what I've been waiting for. Okay, so what I really like about this new section right here, introduced with the double time, not only does the tempo change, or not the tempo, but like the groove change, but I do like the addition of the tiny like little square lead in the back. Or it's not that tiny, but I was actually just thinking to myself, it's kind of all sort of the same sort of textures happening throughout, right? You've got the like re-space, you've got a rolling like pluck bass, I guess, da 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 da, and then you've got like the lead, and they're all sort of built off of supersaws. So I know it's very standard in this genre to build everything off of those type of big supersaws, big detune, that type of stuff. But I do feel like you could use some more textures, like maybe got some detuned square leads in there. Even just a square pluck like this really helps and gives some contrast to all the different textures, like, or gives different textures, giving the track more contrast. I will say, in the double time section right there, the chord progression does seem a little bit laggy, almost. It's like kind of, not... It feels a little bit dragged out. Not laggy. It feels a little dragged out. So maybe you could add some variation there to the chord progression. Okay, and then I need to listen to this halftime section again. Yeah, I like the idea of speeding up to double time before you go halftime. It gives it like that even bigger contrast, you know? I will say though, I do think the side chain could use a little work here. I think you're just going every half a bar. That's when the slide chain's heading. So I think you could time it with the drums again, the whole like analogy I used, I guess. But yeah, I think overall this track has a lot of potential. Even though it's slower BPM, I do really like it. I do think some interesting stuff needs to happen to textures. I think the leads are all there, they just kind of mesh together, you know? It's kind of like, you know, if you were to eat like a meal, except they all, okay, so you had like a steak dinner, right? But then everything was the consistency of mashed potatoes. You wouldn't really like that very much, right? So I do think you need to vary it up with different styles and textures, and then bring out those percussion a little more. That might help too. But yeah, very chill. I like it. And yeah. Thank you, Ocean, for your submission. Thank you. And thank you for being on the spot for number 1. Alrighty. Alright, number 2 is from Pandar. Like those clouds. So I will... Okay, I do have a confession. I've already heard the song. I actually, like, because you're like you've been like a regular on the channel, like I got curious since I saw like in your like little YouTube bio that you did music. So I did check out some of your stuff before, so you know. I cheated a little bit, but it's okay. I'll still go through it live right now. Alrighty. Thank you, membership to RM. Thank you so much. Welcome. Okay, so first of all, like, okay, I know we're only like 15 seconds in. Still. All these little textures happening on this, like, complex rhythm. I know it's just one chord being held out. I get that it's like an intro, but I love that how you differentiate the texture within this like one single sound, having that little phaser. And the little like kind of like I know this genre is trance. I can see it here, but it's kind of foreshadowing that the song is going to be trance, right? Because you got the trance like gated lead or gated. Well, what do you call it? Just trance gate sort of rhythm there. Not to mention all the little details in the background as well. They all add a lot. Love how it opens up there. I don't know what's being stereo here. I think it might be a little bit of the bass. Thank you so much, Nina. I gotta head to bed now. It's super late, but it was nice to drop in. I love you too! I love you too! Can't wait for our song to release. Bye bye, good night, my love. Okay. Thank you, membership to Saber. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so for the intro, I really love how it all progresses and builds up. It's very standard and trance to do this type of intro. Thank you, membership to TU. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty standard to do this type of intro. Trance actually shares a lot of similarities and characteristics with was it hardcore? With hardcore, and there's like a lot of stuff that you can build off of. Trance having a history of being a very DJ-able genre of music tends to have a lot of these intros, so like it's mostly used for DJs to intro in and out, but it's become such a like defining characteristic of trance. So yeah. Like I mentioned here, I really love how the stereo like opens up at the midpoint of the intro. Right here. And the effects are all really balanced and add a lot to the track as well. And then the cooldown here. Thank you, membership, XANZ. Welcome, welcome, thank you. Love the envelope on the lead. It's kind of bold, right? It's especially in such a quiet section like this, where it's just kind of pads, choirs, stuff like that in the back, and then you have this lead that's almost just like singing like an opera singer. I think that's really bold, and I love that you introduced the melody in this way. I know a lot of people like to just low pass something and call it a day. Like low pass the drop melody, call it a day. But having these sort of like inflections and stuff give it a lot of like it keeps it interesting, even though like it's like long sustained notes and stuff like that. Those type of pianos always remind me of Maple Story. It's just like the nostalgia hits in, but love that you start on the offbeat there. Again, a very bold move to start on the offbeat right before the drop. And really helps it kind of transition together, because it's like you expect the melody to just start on the downbeat like everything else usually, but it starts before that, which kind of helps stitch it to the next section. Oh yeah, that's so Maple Story. That's so cool. Okay. First of all, I do want to comment on the melody real quick. So it follows a generally same pattern, like the same sort of shape, I guess, contour, if you want to call it that, to the melody lines. And then it breaks contour over here when it hits that high B note. And I think that's like very, again, bold. But it keeps the melody very, very interesting. So it's like, I do this too a lot, where I keep the melody shape very similar throughout, and then I break the shape when I got towards the end of the melody. So it kind of signals that the melody is coming to an end, and it's like, oh, this melody is nice. Oh, didn't expect that to be there, and it's like kind of keeps things interesting. I really like that. All right, and then the little fade away here. And then, is it like a bar and a half or something? Yeah, I can't count the rhythm, but like the little fade, and then it's kind of like an addendum, right? To that section. It doesn't like wait 4 bars, 8 bars, and it just doesn't go right away either. I think I really appreciate that a lot more now that I started getting into dance music. Is just taking that time. Like if 2 bars is all you need, then 2 bars is all you need. Like you don't need to take an extra 8 bars, make it a whole section. You don't need to go into things right away either. And that's something that like I thought about a lot when I was writing my song Swift. Taking those extra measures to really let those parts speak out for themselves. Okay, I do want to point out one thing about this section. I do think these big saw stacks could be bigger. Like, I feel like they're trying to prove a point, right? Coming out of the silence, just hitting. I think you could really prove a point here by like making these super big. Or not even like super big, but just like kind of they're kind of the only thing there. So they need to just prove their worth of their worthiness of just existing by themselves. I like the delay, but I also think you could do this little trick that I do. When you want to make big like stacks where it's like it has breaks in between. What I like to do is add a reverb channel, and then during those breaks, I filter the reverb channel in. So it starts off, so it stays dry, and then once the breaks happen, I filter the reverb in. So it makes it sound really big. And I don't know, I think that's something that could be applied here. And I'll just kind of talk as the song goes now. I don't want to spend too much time on one submission here. All the filters are very, very well timed as well. I do think it dips down a little too much here. That's just me being nitpicky though. Okay, one last pause. I do think because you've already done that, where it's like, let it fade away, and then stray away from like the, 8-bar, what is it, 8-bar structure, rule or whatever. I do think you could go in right away here. That's just sort of the vibe I was feeling. Or if you really do want to include this like little cooldown here, I do think it sounds cool. I think what you could do is actually shift it over so it builds up for maybe like, if this is 2 bars long, then it builds up for 2 bars less, and then you move that over so it would start on the like 8 bars after. Let me know if that makes sense. I noticed it in the intro, but I really do like that, like, pitch bends, lead thingy that's in the background. Almost gives it like an acid texture. Again, that little break there, I do think you could pull back. Oh, I do think you could pull back 2 bars before that part instead of adding those 2 bars after. I think it makes sense over here, but it kind of feels a little bit draggy here, where it kind of drags the song along. It kind of loses almost like a train of thought. It like builds on the idea, takes it away, and then you think it's gonna be gone, and then the beat drop hits. So I think that sort of thing can be applied on the beat line, I guess. But yeah, thank you so much for your submission. This was really pleasant to listen to. I really like this song. So thank you. Alrighty, next one, moving along. We have a Discord submission from No More Kawaii. So we're gonna need to do the volume thing again. Let me just play it real quick. Actually, let me check this real quick. What? One of the mods pinged me. Oh, yes. No covers. No covers and remixes, please. Yeah, Discord and SoundCloud works. Alrighty. Okay, moving on to No More Kawaii submission. This one's titled The End. I don't want to like leak my Discord on my screen, so I'm just gonna like leave this up for a bit. Or maybe I'll just do this. Okay. So gotta check volume.
Another soul fallen from grace.
How's that?
Do you think you accomplished anything in your short life? No. Watching you attempt to claw your way back to the surface, it's funny. Nothing really matters in the long run. We all perish in the end.
Okay, so thank you, John, for the heads up. There's 18 more tracks. Okay, we'll move a little bit quicker. And if I don't get to it, I promise I will get to it on another stream. I'm going to try and get through everything today, though. Okay, so first of all, I like the sort of ambience, ambiance, and like setting you're building with this intro. I think is very creative. Yeah, almost could use a little bit more Foley just to kind of establish the setting a little bit more. But I already do like what's happening here. I do think the voice is a little bit loud. And almost could use more processing. I don't know if you want it to sound more natural. If that's the case, then I think there's too much processing. But I do think it could be a little bit more processing on it. One thing I find works really well is the robot filter on Little Altar Boy.
Watching you attempt to claw your way back to the surface, it's funny. Nothing really.
Yeah, I do think it sort of takes away from the entirety of the build-up. I think you just want the vocals to sit at a level that's just above the rest of the track, so you can still make out what the words are saying, you can still hear everything clearly, but it's not taking away necessarily from the rest of the chords. Because in this particular section, I do wish that the chords were a little bit more audible. Hey Mafia, good to see you here. Thank you for stopping by.
We all perish in the end.
Okay, this drop is sick. This drop is crazy. But a couple things. So this seems to be a common theme, but I do think your percussion could stand out a tiny bit more. This is a very like dance music genre. It's neurofunk, right? So you want to make sure the drums are, you know, smacking, and you want to make sure that just like everything is big, because it's a big song, and I think you could really use that stuff. Honestly, what I talked about earlier with Pandar submission, about the big saw stacks and having that reverb being filtered in and out during the breaks, I think that might sort of help to fill in some of the gaps here. I don't know if you wanted more of the dryness of this drop, but I do think it sounds fine if you did want to fill in these gaps. That's just an idea I'm throwing out there for you. Oh, I forgot I can't press spacebar to resume. Oh, I forgot to mention also, I really do like the bass line. I love that it starts on the G and not the F sharp. I think that's very, very unique. That's actually something I've been studying a lot from Abstract. So, oh, what song is it? I think it's Show Me by Abstract. It starts on the, so I believe the song's in F minor, but the drop starts in F sharp and then it goes to the F. I think that sounds so sick. And it sounds kind of edgy, right? But that's what you're going for, and it works so well here. Love the variation on the flow here as well.
In the grand scheme of things, you are meaningless. Nothing.
Okay, so right here, right here, this break. Wait, where is it? Right there. I think it would be so sick if you like cut all of the reverb, everything happening in the background, you just have that kick. I feel like it'll be very, very impactful right there.
In the grand scheme of things,
And then get everything kicking back in with the snare.
but a have to get used to this hellscape. There's no leaving now. You're trapped.
Whoa, big growl. I think those growls can be more aggressive, you know? More distortion. More, like... Yeah, more distortion, I guess. More aggressive. More compression. Got it, like, super aggressive right there. I think that would sound so sick.
After all that you've done, you still persist with your same ways. You deserve everything that is coming to you.
Again, in this section and the section before, I think the vocal is still loud. It's kind of taking away from the chords again. I thought it was before as well, but in this section, there's changes to the chords. They're like a higher register to these chords. I think you should really highlight that. And, I think turning the vocals down a tad bit will help.
The question is, are you ready?
The variation for second half, or second drop. Let me listen to that last section a tiny bit again. Okay, so, you know, there's these saw hits or saw chords that hit at the beginning of a phrase, I guess. So I think it would be really sick if because these are happening in the drop where it's wait, actually let me listen again. I can't seem to put my finger on what it is. I think it's when the saw stack hits, it sounds really good. But then when it doesn't hit after that, it kind of feels empty, right? I think you could put like some sort of growl or maybe some kind of like drum there, like just a big tom or something like that. Yeah, I do think because the saw is filling in that space and then it's empty after that, it sort of feels like there should be something there. That's just what I feel personally. And then outro. Nice. Very, very cool song. I really like that. You know, a lot of people don't really expect me to like neurofunk because I just make happy hardcore and future bass. But I do love neurofunk. It's one of my favorite genres actually. And I used to listen to a ton of it back when I was starting out making music. It was one of my favorites, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, that was very, very enjoyable. Thank you so much for your submission. Thank you, thank you. Alright, this next submission, I'm going to need to prepare something real quick. This is Summertime by Davtor, I think. So just need to put this here. Maybe around like here-ish. Let's see. I hope this is good. No! I missed. Okay. Yeah, bit of a. Oh wait, actually, I need to scroll down. Oh, actually, never mind. That's fine. All right, there we go. I said no, not safe for work submissions. I guess I didn't specify that for the cover art. All right, so let's take a listen here. Okay, so first of all, so the chord progression's fine, right? It's kind of basic. What is this? 1, 5, 6, 4, something like that. It is kind of basic. You can make it work. I don't think it works just yet. I do think it needs a little bit more. But then again, it's just the intro, so I'll just leave it for now. I will say about the pluck though. It has a very interesting rhythm to it. I don't know if that gets established later on. That's something I'm going to have to keep listening to find out. But right off the bat, I do feel like the pluck rhythm is a tiny bit sporadic and almost sounds a little random at times. where the 16th notes and whatnot are. I do like that you put those in, because they add a lot of variety to the rhythmic texture. Since it's just the 8th note pluck on the chords. Like that one line right there. Dun 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 dun. So I don't know. I think they could be spaced out a little bit more thoughtfully. Okay, very good build up on the percussion there. Again, I'm kind of missing something here. I do think maybe the chords need to kind of grow into an envelope, or the lead or the plug needs to just kind of grow into like a lead or something like that. Oh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Um. Okay, so there's a tempo change here. Not sure how I feel about that. After establishing yourself, or after establishing this song as, you know, like progressive house, something like that, just like doing the house tempo and making a sick build up that establishes that tempo very well, kind of just throwing that aside and doing a tempo change. Yeah, I don't think I like it actually. I do think you could have gone with just hardcore. I think it's interesting, right? To not have it drop in house and then just go straight to hardcore. I think it's interesting. I think it's also very, very hard to pull off. I don't even know if I could pull it off, honestly. So yeah, kind of threw me for a loop right there. Okay, I think now that I'm hearing this section, the melody makes a lot more sense in this context. But in the beginning, I do think those 16 notes kind of felt a little bit sporadic. So yeah, it seems kind of unorganized when the intro and then everything following the drop is, or everything following the intro is different BPMs, genres, even styles. It's all different instruments. So yeah, I don't know what the solution would be here if you do want to keep it. I do think the best option would be to do a hardcore intro or kind of repurpose this intro for a higher BPM. I think it can work. Okay, very nice build up there. It kind of almost immediately did the things that I talked about in the first build up. Also, interesting point brought up by Pancake. Anyone going from genre X to genre Y is very difficult. It is, but the way Camellia does it, right? Camellia does do the drop in that tempo, in that tempo, in that genre, and then changes BPM either within the drop or through another build-up that kind of transitions to a new genre. This kind of, the only really transition there is to kind of bridge those two genres together is just an impact and a riser. So yeah, I do think there needs to be a bigger or a more sturdier I guess just sturdier is correct grammar. Sturdier bridge between these two genres. And yeah. I think you can make it work. Yeah, okay, so this drop was very, very well mixed, I should say. Very well mixed. I do like those little effects that you threw in there, like such as the low pass on the lead and whatnot. There's something about the melody though. I'm not quite sure what it is. I do think the melody could use work though. It's kind of staying towards the root, which is the A. The note A. And it's just kind of going back to that A again and again. Thank you, ownership to Sleepless! Welcome to the stream. Hello. Yeah, so I think instead of just going back to that A, I do think it breaks that here. Where it goes up to the C sharp there. It just kind of feels like there's no direction to the melody, right? When it always just goes back to A. So I think doing something like that where it goes to a different note there, or even just with the main motif, instead of A, B, C sharp, B, G sharp, E, A, maybe if it started on a C sharp, or maybe it didn't end on the A. I do like ending on the A though, it makes it feel powerful. But yeah, something to consider about the melody. Oh. Finer. Okay. There's a lot of stuff happening here. Okay, So first of all, the mood switch. It's not major anymore, it's A minor. So doing parallel minor switch, it's pretty difficult, but I think it works here. And but I do think the melody, it's the melody again. Everything is super well mixed, sounds super clean, super balanced. It's just the melody. It's kind of two notes for the majority of it, isn't it? It's just A and E. So maybe if this were sort of converted into a more of like a bass or like a stab where it's like more aggressive instead of this happy hardcore-ish lead, then I think it would sound more in place. But with the current timbre that the lead has, I don't think this melody really suits it that much. And again, going to triplets there, I like the concept, right? It's something that I've done in Sweetheart, for example. I like the concept. I don't think it was... I don't think having the lead in the first bar of it really helps with that, though. Because it just goes bum bum bum, and then kind of just rushes to establish that it's triplets now. Instead of maybe taking like a bar and... Because this is like 8 notes back here. So maybe instead of eight notes there, you would go just full bar of like... Maybe like just kick there. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of ideas. Because it is tough to switch between rhythms like this as well. And then going back to duples right here. Yeah, I do think it feels a little messy. And then back to happy, progressive house here. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I feel like you could split this off into like 3 different songs, or maybe just 2 different songs and kind of branch out their own ways. But yeah, I do think it's trying to stuff a little bit too much into here. And it has the capability to work, but just kind of the bridges aren't there, right? The transitions aren't there. Crowd noise a little loud. There it is! There it is! There's the tempo speed. There's the tempo speed up build up. See, if you were to do something like this in the first half, it would work a lot better, I think. Yeah! Oh, it hits so much better when the build up is like goes with it. Ah! You know what I realized? It's kind of like the song just sort of like changed what I said about the song like throughout, like as I was playing it. honestly, the melody sounds more in place here than it does in the heavy drop in the halftime right there. Yeah, I will know. And the slowdown right there is very nice. It kind of keeps everything like bookends. Yeah, so I'd really like you to consider bridging those gaps a little bit more. And yeah, I think this song has potential. And I like that you're going for these like genre change ideas and whatnot. Yeah. So main summary would be bridge up the gaps, kind of smooth out those transitions, and yeah, should be better after that. And again, this sounds very like well mixed. Everything's super balanced. It's just the structure and the yeah, I guess just the structure and the transitions that I think need some work. Yeah, okay. Thank you for your submission, Davtor. Alright, moving on. Next one. Yes, this is Walk With Me by Michiodin. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh yeah, we'll just go with Dean. I can remove the PN now. Alrighty. Oh, so you're saying bridge the first half a little better? Well, it's the first half as well as just in the middle, that like sort of more aggressive minor drop, as well as the triplets. Thank you, super chat, James Call. This roasting is so gentle. Hey, I can be mean if I want to. No, I won't be mean unless you specifically request for your track to be mean. Thank you, super chat. Thank you. All right, let's get into this one. Let's go. Happy hardcore. It's a little slow for happy hardcore, isn't it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so when I heard the intro, I was like, this is A minor, right? But this is actually G major, or like E minor, I guess? Yeah, this is G major. So that's the thing with hardcore intros, right? So you either want to start on the root, which is the one, whether you're in a like a major key or a minor key, you want to start with that note. Or what I hear in a lot of J-core and like Eastern happy hardcore producers like to do, the 4 chord. So I forgot my music terms. It's not like sub and I don't know. But if you're in C major, it'll be the F, right? So that's sort of kind of I like starting on the F because it keeps it sort of ambiguous whether it's major or minor or wherever you want to go from there. It keeps it ambiguous and it also makes it more emotional. It also makes it sound like anime opening, but also so yeah, I would not suggest starting on the 2, which is what you're doing here, the 2 minor chord. It feels a little bit weak and kinda like, yeah, I don't know what's a good word to describe it. But yeah, I think it'll sound better if you start on the G, or maybe even the E. I don't know what the rest of the song sounds like, so we'll see.
Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, warm breeze, passing through the seas. You held my hand, so walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me.
Think you could use a bit more rhythmic elements there. So you have that nice, like, offbeat, sort of smooth piano there. Do you think if you had like some sort of like even like low pass drums that are just sort of in the background, I think it just needs that sort of place marker of where the beat is, because the vocal's sort of on the beat, but then you can't really rely on the vocal to keep like a strong downbeat or whatever. So I think there needs to be a bit more rhythmic backbone to that section. Yeah, the milk vocal sounds very nice.
Walk with me, say. Walk with me. Walk with me.
Okay, I do like that you're trying to establish the the motif of the melody, or like the theme of the melody, as the da 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 da, like the run of the scale. I like that idea a lot. I do think the song needs to support it though, whether it's like a 16th note rhythm, maybe like in the background or with the percussion or whatever, because kind of if you think about it, actually the only percussion I do hear is the kick here. So yeah, I do think you could use some sort of hat loop, 16th note bass hat loop, to kind of make that rhythm seem more in place. Because if you just have quarter notes for the kicks, then during those 16 notes can kind of seem a little bit too contrasting, I guess. I also think the lead, there's like this one frequency in there that's like kind of really resonant. Yeah, I would really appreciate if you could EQ that for the final. Yeah, it's a little harsh. Could probably find it if I really wanted to, but yeah. Yeah, nice drum and bass vibes here. So that would be an example of a 16th note groove, right? Where it has like lots of complex rhythms thrown in there. So yeah, something like that. Or something like the hats of that at least thrown onto the drop could work. And then maybe you could like low pass this for the intro or something like that. I also think it could help, now that I'm thinking about it, if you just brought the volume of the piano up more.
At the beach, fresh water on my feet. You held my hand, so walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, warm breeze, passing through the seas. You held my hand, so walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me.
Yeah, it's kind of really contrasting because like these build-ups have so much rhythmic variety. A lot of contrasting rhythms. Yeah! There it is! the choppy 16 note chords really help support that melody right here.
Walk with me. Walk with me.
Love that last drop so much. That part is really cool, and I really feel like the song was almost like built for that drop. And this is just kind of like an alternate drop, right? Because the melody just fits a little bit more to that 16th note choppy groove. But yeah, overall I really like the chord progression to this. And I do think you could start on the G for the intro, or maybe even the C. And yeah, more rhythms in the drop, more rhythms in the intro. I think you're good to go. This has a lot of potential. Thank you for your submission, Dean. Thank you, thank you. Alright, moving on. Next submission is Frozen Heart by Arianet. Okay. Alrighty. Let's just go right into it. Yeah, future core. Very cool intro. That's a very unique intro. I know it's just like reverb piano, but I don't know, there's something about it. I think it's the pad in the background. Again, like No More Kawaii song, it sort of establishes the setting to the song and kind of makes it like I guess like foreshadows that it's gonna be like super dreamy and floaty. That's just sort of the vibes I got from it. That coupled with the cover art makes me feel like it's, you know, in space. And I may be a little bit biased towards that, but... And not to mention the reverse vocal really helps the vocal kick in.
And my mind, I'll black out. She been inside. Love's a place to find. Looking now, where you go. You got the power of the strength in your hands. Looking now, where you found. I'm from the country of the throbbing heart.
So I can tell you used Alter Boy, I think, for the vocals. So I can tell you this as an Alter Boy user myself. So there's this weird like stereo thing that goes on when you do Alter Boy. So what I like to do is I don't know what DAW you use, but I personally use Fruity Stereo Shaper. So what that allows me to do is just got one signal. So it's a stereo track, so I can just take one track of it. I can either mute the left or the right, doesn't matter. Got one track of it and then center that and then use that as a vocal. Because vocals don't need to be stereo, right? You can do some like reverb to widen it, or if you do want to stereo, you can stereo widen it after. But you really only need one signal for the vocals. So I like doing that, and then yeah, I think that should kind of help the vocals fit in a little bit more here.
Your hands, looking now, where you found. I'm from the country of the throbbing heart.
That lead has so much character, I love it. Okay, So, the transition here was a tiny bit shaky, right? Because of the missing kick, I know it can work, but I think it could be executed a tiny bit like it's supposed to be there. It kind of feels like it's not supposed to, or it's not supposed to not be there. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of like give it, like, be bold with it. Like, if you're gonna do it, go all the way. Kind of make everything like dry, no reverb in that section or something like that. And then that'll kind of make it seem like it's not supposed to be there, right? Be bold with it. But yeah, this build up is really sick. Those vocal chops are so cool. Okay, so what I love about this vocal chop, the first half, it stays on that B. It's a really cool pedal note, actually. And it kind of keeps everything a little bit grounded, with all the crazy rhythms going on. That vocal chop kind of just staying the same throughout. Kind of helps keep everything grounded. And then in the second half, when it has that like cooler melody, and then like the octave up as well, super cool. Again, love that lead so much. It has so much character, I'm telling you, and then like the vibrato really helps tie it all together. But yeah, drop overall, I think very good. It's just that going into the drop was a tiny bit shaky. Yeah, I do think it could have could have been more purposely missing that first kick. If that makes sense. And then one thing overall that I want to say is the kick, I think, should be a little bit punchier. IMO. Really cool effects in that breakdown. Like I don't know, for breakdowns I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh, it's not the drop, or it's like the part after the drop, so nobody really cares. But I can tell that you really care about this section. You really care about every part of your song, and throwing in all these like unique textures in this breakdown like gives it a lot of life. Really cool percussion happening in this verse right here. I do think you could add maybe an impact or something to kind of go in between this like long stretch right here where you're kind of building up. Because it just kind of moves along. I think at the midpoint it would be nice to kind of separate the two sections. Give it like a part A and part B with the impact. And then I think maybe like a riser going through as well. would really help shape this section. Especially because it's going into like a quiet section after, it seems like.
And my mind, I'll block out the shivering alone inside. Love's a place to find.
Yeah! Okay, so I was just kind of vibing to the drop, honestly. But yeah, a couple things about it. So it starts on the downbeat, right? I think it's really cool when songs do this, where the first drop doesn't start on the beat and then the second drop does start on the beat, or vice versa, or something like that. Yeah, I think the vocals might be a tiny bit too loud in the build-up. They do fit in nicely during the drop, though. Oh, there was also one tiny little detail I noticed in the build-up. Right there, when the drums cut out a little bit. I think it would be really cool if you put like a bass growl or something like that in between. Or just something to kind of signify that it's not just the drums dropping out of there, like a vocal chant, or maybe cutting more stuff out so that it's not just the drums. But again, it kind of ties into the theme of making it sound purposeful that you put that there, and not that it's just you accidentally cut a beat off, you know? So yeah, kind of be more bold with these decisions that you're making, because I kind of feel like you're going like not all the way. Yeah, these are sort of things that you shouldn't meet halfway for. Like, go take it out all the way, or go all the way with these ideas that you're putting, because they're really creative. But yeah, overall, I really like this song. I like how it's building atmosphere just throughout the whole song. Even just the intro and outro. See ya, John. Interesting outro there. Yeah, but overall, this is a really cool track. Like, I forgot to say this when we heard the first drop, but very bouncy. I love the feel of it a lot. So, yeah. Well crafted. Thank you for your submission again, Arianet. Okay, moving on. Actually, I might take a little bit of a break. Maybe after this one, though. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. This is Star Power by Zero. Alrighty. Hold on. Does that sound familiar to anyone else? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I don't wanna put you on blast here, but that that that's the same melody, my guy. Okay, let's continue listening to it. I can't review this. This is my melody. I heard my sample too. Yeah, I don't know if I can do a proper like review of this song. Please change the melody to that because that I wrote that melody. Yeah. This is a bit awkward, isn't it? Yeah, unfortunate. I know it happens. I got it. And I've unintentionally ripped stuff off before too. But either I caught it or someone told me about it, so this is my this is your sign. I'm telling you right now. So I'll go ahead and skip this one if you wanna maybe next stream that I do for this can send that next time. Sorry. Thank you, membership Henry. Thank you. Welcome. Alright, I think I'm gonna go take my break now. I'll be back in about 5 minutes and we'll go through the rest of the submissions. Actually, let me count how many we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's knock all these out after I get back. So, BRB, y'all. I'll be back in like... Did I say 5 minutes? I'll be back in like 3 minutes. BRB. Wah wah wah. Ah, wah 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 wah. I'm back. Oh wait. I'm back. Okay, okay. Let's get back to the to reviewing. Alrighty, so wah. There we go. Let me move. Well, let me move those real quick. Okay. Next one is Event Horizon uwu underscore plump underscore 3.ogg, submitted by Event Horizon. Also, Zero, don't worry about it. I know what happens. I just can't review that. Yeah. It's kind of throughout the whole song, so yeah. Yeah, submission is still going, by the way. Head over to the Discord channel for members. Alright, let's give this submission a listen through. Let's go. Oh. There we go. It's a bit quiet. Okay, so a couple things off the bat. I think, so you said you were a bit new to production. I remember you saying that on the membership channel. So, yeah, I won't go too harsh on you. Don't worry. But yeah, the lead sound, it's interesting, right? You picked a pretty interesting sound. It seems to be very, very distorted and also doesn't have a lot of low end. So what this does is, because it's like a high end thing that has distortion, it's adding like a little hum actually to the an undertone almost. So yeah, that might be something you want to consider when adding distortion, is kind of do it but don't go so far as it'll add a hum underneath. And there's actually nothing supporting the chords as of right now, like for the first however many seconds that was. So if you are going to keep the lead sound that way, I suggest you do an EQ after, or add some sort of under layer, because it's all just kind of high end right now and there's just a kick underneath. So I think I also do want to explain this, which is the 3 fundamental building blocks of music, I should say. So this is something I lose track of as well when writing music, but it's a really, really important thing to keep in mind, is you gotta have these 3 elements: melody, harmony, and rhythm. You gotta have those 3 at all points during your song. That's what defines music. And you do have melody and a bit of harmony, but the harmony could be more established. You could fill those notes in with chords underneath a pad or something like that. And rhythm. In terms of rhythm, it's just the kick drum so far. So, and I know it speeds up. I do think you need to add a bit more layers to it, because it's really just those 2 right now. Yeah, moving on, or going forward with the song. So now there is the addition of the baseline here, right? The baseline it combined with it being pretty stereo, and the fact that it moves pretty fast, I think it doesn't do its job of supporting the chords. So I do think it needs to be more forward, like centered mono, and I think it could follow the chords a little bit more. And I do think you could add a bit more variety, because right now it's just going with the, what is that, E flat major chord, and it's just going an arpeggio with those. So yeah, I think you need to switch up the chords. And yeah. Yeah, definitely needs more layers. And a bit more variety, right? As I see that there's a new lead. So as well as filling in those three, I'll just leave it playing. The three elements, like I mentioned, melody, harmony, and rhythm. I do think something that is important to look at in terms of building a whole composition would be to really fill up each part of the spectrum, right? So there's a frequency spectrum that you can, if you use FL, you can look at it by just opening free parametric EQ2. And I'm noticing there's a missing gap here. It's the mid bass. So the low mids, there's really nothing there. So if you were to look at one of just like a standard like EDM song, for example, usually you have the lead or vocal or some kind of like vocal chop or something that's filling in the high register, and then the mid register, it's the chords. This like usually like a supersaw kind of chord, some kind of pluck, or some kind of usually something like that, or a pad or whatever. And then the lows, you have your kick drum, you have your sub bass, you have your regular bass, and you have, I guess that's really it. But yeah, you have all these. I'm just kind of generalizing here, but everything has its own like role. So I think something like that is something to think about when writing music. Yeah, so definitely more stuff in the mids is what I'm getting a lot, because everything is very high. Well, yes, thank you for your submission, Event Horizon, thank you. Alright, next up, it's Pancake. We'll be listening to this guy's submission. Let me read this real quick. Didn't include the intro and break. Oh, okay, no problem. Alright, so I adjusted the volume a little bit, so I hope it's not too loud. Alright, this is shooting underscore star underscore drop underscore and underscore build up underscore feedback dot wave. Alright, let's listen to it. this is awesome. This is really cool. So first thing I'm noticing is the drums, right? It seems to be the very common theme today, but drums need to be louder. It's just like the nature of EDM makes drums be the center of it, right? Because it's dance music. It needs to be very. Oh, I just saw the message underneath that one be edited. Anyways, yeah, the drums need to be at the center and forefront of the mix. Yeah, they have to drive the tune. That's a good way to put it. Hello. So yeah, they need to be more forward in the mix. I do. It sort of feels like the entire song is kind of high pass a little bit. I don't know if that's just the sub needing to come up more or. Yeah, so I think maybe it's just the kick needs to be brought up more because the kick is lacking like the sub frequencies. So yeah, you wanna really bring out the sub bass in this track more. In terms of the lead and like chorus, I think the lead is fantastic. The melody has lots of direction. It's very interesting with how you're timing all the offbeats as well. I like that everything's on the offbeat because happy hardcore, I talk about this a lot. It's a very offbeat based genre, right? It's the kick and then everything happens on the offbeat. So the melody following suit with that really fits into the theme of the genre. And then those little grace notes as well, they add so much texture to the lead. They really help the lead, like, even like within the rhythm, the already interesting rhythm, it's adding that little depth of those grace notes as well. I do think with the chords are they're nice, and they're well voiced as well. I think maybe at the end you could add a little bit of a variation. That's something I like to do personally, just because the song sort of gives me the same vibes as my songs do. So if I were to give a little Synthion wisdom, what I like to do is kind of add an in-between chord in between the 5 and the 6 chord, which would be the D major and the E minor. So I like to do like a D sharp diminish. So hold on, let me get my piano. It's not plugged in, or it's not like going through FL, so it might sound a little awkward. Let me know if you can hear this. Is that too loud? So instead of just going from D to E minor, it would go from D and then it would do this passing chord over here, which would be a D sharp diminished chord. So basically take your D chord and then move all the Ds up a step, and then it'll kind of smooth out the transition a little bit and also add that like little spiciness, right? The spicy chord, you gotta have that spicy chord at the end of that A section or whatever. So yeah, I think that would be a nice addition. If you want to get more spicy with it, I'm not stopping you. Well, yes, thank you for your submission. That was really nice. Alrighty. Next, we have Toby, another Discord submission. This is May-5-splice-speedrun-challenge.mp3. Thank you, membership, Toby. Happy 6 months. Your feedback, please. Coming right up. Alright. Let's give this a listen.
お願いします。
Okay, this goes really hard, right? This is so hard. Just those bells and textures in the back, it gives it like that suspense, right? And then the low piano. I do think the piano could be maybe have a bit more body, I guess would be a good term for it. Let me turn on my fan real quick. Hold on. Okay. Fan is on. It's a little hot in my room. But yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, piano does need more body because it's like the main element in this track so far, right? Or I guess beat, if you want to call it that. So yeah, piano should have more body. I think the sub kind of bouncing there gives it like the slight subtle variation that it needed there. So that's nice. Yeah, let me sample.
お願いします。
And then these chords have what seems to me like, this is the only way I can explain it, but if you went on gross beat and turned on chaos. So they have the like cool textures on them, but what I'm noticing is whatever you applied the textures with, it's messing with the levels of it, so it makes it sound a little shaky almost. I think it would sound nice if you added some compression to whatever you are adding these textures on, textures on. So honestly, just a simple OTT on like a lot higher percentage, that'll kind of help even out the level issue. So yeah. Okay, so this section is interesting because it has that bouncy bass, right? Bouncy bass. For the first half, and then the second half is long sustained bass. So I think it would be nice to keep that bounciness because it kind of makes the chords feel a little bit alone when the bass isn't like moving around with it. And then it just kind of disappears there. So instead of doing that, maybe if you like high pass everything, that might make it sound a little bit smoother. Or I guess what's missing there is like a riser, right? Very, very standard in beats to have like big risers. Like the addition of the plug here. I will say I forgot to mention the hi-hats are really cool. And that little glitch fill thing with the sub bass as well. That's really cool too. Yeah, so it's a beat, so honestly I'm not gonna comment too much about the variation. I think beats should stay consistent, so you did a good job of doing that. What do I want to mention? Oh right, the snare. I think the snare kind of doesn't fit. It's very like, how do I say it? Punchy, which feels a bit wrong. Like okay, I'm using the wrong words for this, but it feels like a glitch hop snare almost, and it feels like yeah, glitch hop I guess is the best way to put it. I think like more of like a trap 808 snare would fit a lot better in this context. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Thank you for your submission. I hope I didn't miss anything. Yeah. Alright, thank you, Toby. Alrighty. Next up, we have Fool by Linear Rank. This is SoundCloud, so I'll bring that up again. Oh. Oops. This here. Okay. Just read the description. Alright, let's give this a listen, shall we? What? Really cool textures. Okay. As you can tell with the Pandar track and this one, you can probably tell what I'm gonna say already. I love it when things just open up like that a lot. It's so nice. Okay. This is so cool! This is like one of the most unique like feature-based tracks I've ever heard, honestly. This is really cool. I love how it starts off. It has the like sustained part and then it goes back to choppy. Yeah, it's bold, right? I think a lot of you are kind of getting my taste in music now. You like I like a lot of bold statements in my music. Yeah, this is really cool. I think yeah, the flow and the mixing you said. So I will talk about the mix a little bit. So naturally with the what is it, the Rhodes piano in the background, the what is it, electric piano, it's shaky by nature, cuz it's like panning left and right, I think you might have monoed it, like unstereoed it. But yeah, I think because of that, maybe it needs some more compression, or maybe like a different electric piano type, because it has like that shakiness and it makes it sound a little bit off, because I think this whole track is being compressed a little bit. It also sounds like there's something on the master track. By any chance, do you have default Fruity Limiter on the master channel? Cause that's actually what I'm hearing, is it's sounding a little bit shaky because of that. I mean, despite that though, it still sounds great in terms of the mix. Love the sidechain on the piano here. So I think what this section is lacking a little bit, I think it would sound really, really clean and nice if you were to add an electric bass to it. Because what I'm noticing is when you hold these piano chords, it's kind of dying down. The bass note is dying down because of that's just how a piano is. If you hold a note for a long time, it'll get softer and softer. And to not screw up the sort of like pattern of the piano, if you added an electric bass that held its like bass note for longer, then I think it would sound really good. Piano and bass is like a god tier combo. You can't mess with it. Yeah, super smooth though. Okay, so I do think it dips down a little too much here. Cause the piano is sort of the only thing that's happening here. I know there's like little stuff in the background, but the piano is the main focus, right? So if the piano dies down, there's really nothing to take its place. Plus it's losing the drums here as well. So I think it would be nice if you kept the piano in, maybe added some sort of other like other instrument, maybe brought back the EP, something to fill in the gap and not make it so like die down so much there. This sound designer is so cool. Okay, yeah, I think overall the track is really, really cool. I know you said you need advice on how to add details, but I mean it's pretty freaking detailed, isn't it? It's cause every note being hit has a different texture to it. That gives it so much depth and so much detail. I think what could sound really good if you did want to add just the small details here and there. I'm just gonna throw a bit of ideas out at you. I think tying in with the like little snare roll at the end of the drop, maybe every like 8 bars or something, you could do like a little triplet ta 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 snare roll to kind of lead into the next 8 bars and kind of throw some. I don't know. I'm thinking like unique percussion, like a maybe like a triangle or something like. Being membership, event price, and happy 6 months. Maybe something like I don't know what the thing is called, like the rattle. I don't know why I'm picturing that, but it yeah, just some sort of like unique percussions for a unique track. I think would sound really nice. Um, if you want to try and fill in those gaps, maybe you could add like a record scratch, even like a um, or maybe some kind of different hat rhythms. Yeah, all these sorts of ideas I'm just throwing out there. I think a record scratch would actually fit really well because the smooth piano sections are very hip hoppy. Um, yeah, I think overall this track is really cool. I yeah, definitely send in the server when it's released. Um, yeah, this is really cool. Um, and yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about it. In terms of flow, yeah, just this section needs a bit more. It also is a bit long, so if you want to try and maybe keep this section a bit concise and just go straight into this section. Or maybe straight into this section? I don't know. Actually, I think the pacing is fine. I think the pacing is fine. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say for it. Thank you for your submission. Linear Ring, thank you. Very, very cool song. Alright, next up. We have the very own, or our very own, Assertive. How am I supposed to get feedback on an Assertive song? But let's give it a listen, shall we? Hi Dante, welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. Alright, let's give this a listen. 200 BPM? Hi. Hello. Really cool amen fill there.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Okay, so already something I listened or noticed from the intro. Oh, I don't know what's being shortened here, is it? But it gets like a little bit choppier. That adds so much texture and so much like depth to like what already is happening. Just shortening what's already there just by a little bit can make it sound like, can give it the variety that it needs. I think it would sound really cool. Wait, I think I've heard this before. this is... Hold on. Wait, just got... Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, I have heard this before. I think it would be really cool if you introduce the lead here. Cause it's kind of just kick and bass, which kind of is standard for this genre. But I think if you sort of introduce the lead very slightly, like as a plug or something, it would sound really cool. Okay, let's talk about that build-up. So, I forgot which track it was. Maybe it was... Oh, wait, yeah. I forgot which track it was. Maybe it was, the... Arianet's track, I believe? Where it had that break in the build-up, right? So... filling up those breaks with like single bass shots like those can really fill it up and make it seem like it's supposed to be there, right? In fact. Such a good fake out. Like that's that's how you do fake outs. These fills are so good. Oh my god. Okay, so one thing is that this riser, I think, I think it's just like a sine wave almost that's like rising. I think it sticks out a tiny bit too much in my opinion. I think if you replace that riser with like a more general, well, I know there's a riser in the background, but something more blending in, I guess, is the right term for it. I love that the kick is switched out here for this B section. Or there's that layer to the kick. Welcome back, Assertive. We're listening to your song now. Okay, so let's now that Assertive's back. Wait, aren't you at a wedding right now? But anyways, so what I mentioned so far is I think it would be really cool in the intro if you sort of kind of tease the melody a little bit, maybe introduce it in like plug form, or just maybe we could use this plug right here. Because that lead is super iconic. I think if you sort of went into it a little bit smoother, with like a plug in like maybe just the last 8 bars or last 16 bars of the intro, I think it would sound really cool and kind of tie the whole thing together. Oh yeah, I also said this pre-drop is legendary. And then that I like the kick layer switch in this B section. Also, yeah, Kara said it, but using that scream on the on the offbeat, that's really nice. You could have very well just like kept it there, like sustained it every beat, but having it just on the offbeat gives like drives the song forward more. Okay, so this may sound like a meme, right? It sounds like a meme, but it's actually genius because like it actually introduces the hardcore kick before the the hardstyle kick before the hardstyle section. That's really genius. Yeah, I think that's really cool. What I will say though is about this section, the melody does seem a little bit more sluggish because it's drawn out, right, throughout the whole like duration, whereas in the first section it was more choppy. So I think if it still had that choppiness aspect to it, it'll sound like it'll kind of drive this section forward a little bit more as well. Yeah, I also thought that riser was kind of too forward. Maybe if it were further back or like blended into the track more, I think it would sound better. Crazy melody. Okay, so when I first heard this drop, I was like gonna say, like, I think it could use a bit more harmony, because the lead is very forward. I think if it had like the harmony layer underneath to kind of support it, it would sound more in place. And then you added it here, so I don't know, maybe you could tone down a tad bit on the lead there. The riser is the Japanese yelling sound pitch though. What is your problem? Oh, I also forgot to say for the lead right here. It's missing vibrato. I think if it had vibrato right there, like crazy vibrato wiggle at the end, or maybe even throughout this part, I think it would give it a lot more depth to the lead. It kind of feels like it was made to have vibrato, you know? So I'm just kind of imagining it there. Yeah, so this chiptune B section switch is really nice. Maybe you could kind of do what you did with the lead here and kind of end it off like nice and round with like this cadence where it goes up to that really high note. because this just kind of stays the same throughout. And then I'm not really sure if this is the outro start or the just an extension of the drop, but if you're going back to this like minor part, like I guess Gavari part, for lack of a better term, maybe you could kind of like throw in like a 8-bar or like 4-bar build up even, cause it does seem a little sudden right here. Got a bit lazy on the outro part. Okay, so the outro does have the lead melody, but the intro doesn't. So I think it should match. I think it would sound a little bit better if it were like symmetrical bookends like that. And then if you added a pluck to the intro, I think it would kind of match this section more. And maybe replacing the outro with a pluck could make it seem like more of the outro. Oh, I guess this would be the start of the outro, right?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah, so I think it's a... I wanna say, this section just kind of feels like it was thrown in there. I know there's a bit of transition going into it and out of it as well, but I think if it just went straight to the outro, it would kind of make a little bit more sense. Or if you did want to include this section again at the end, I would suggest doing like a little 4-bar build-up for it. Because, yeah, it just kind of feels like an appendix to the super cool drop. But yeah, overall, this is such a cool song. I know I said I already heard it before, but glad I got to hear it again. And I'm really glad this exists. And yes, can't forget to mention the Paimon vocal. Iconic. Alright, thank you for your submission, Assertive. Thank you. Alright, how many do we have left? Oh, we still have a lot. Oh, okay. We're gonna get through it. Next up, we have Unlive by Sidoro. Oh yes, Kara. Yeah, if you could close off the submissions now. Actually, let me change the text to say that. Submissions closed. Thank you for submitting. Alrighty. Have fun at the wedding. See you, Assertive. Bye bye. Okay. I was not expecting that, first of all. So let's talk about the intro a little bit. Lots of different textures happening in the intro. I really like that. I do think the intro sidechain does get a bit much. You're almost losing like half a beat, I'm hearing. Yeah, I think the sidechain might be a tad bit too heavy there on the intro, or the build up. This is so cool. Okay, but I will say, like, my initial reaction to it was I was not expecting that. So I think you could kind of take that into account. Maybe sort of low pass or like band pass introduce this like choppy rhythm or like super cool sound design, whatever you want to call it. The plucky stuff kind of in this build up as well. I think it would kind of lead very nicely into it. These fills are crazy. Whoa, okay, really interesting transition into the B section. I do think maybe if you kind of eased in the sub bass instead of just starting it there, maybe you could reverb it out and then high pass it and then just kind of fade it in, like turn down the reverb and then like take off the high pass and put it back down for the sub bass there. Or 808, yeah. Yeah, so I like this texture, right, in the drop, but I think over here it can be a bit much because it's kind of cooling down, right? This is the end of your workout. This is you sprinting at 10 miles per hour, and then this is like cooling down. So if you throw in those like intense fills there again, it can kind of take away from the feeling of cooling down, which might be what you're going for, but I do think it disrupts the flow of cooling down a little bit. As well as these like stereo panned things here. Yeah, okay, I didn't get my Peloton workout in this morning, but anyways. Yeah, those things, I don't know what you want to call them, little like squelches that are being panned left and right. Those do stick out a little bit. So maybe if you do you want to keep those in, maybe low pass? But yeah. Okay, wait, okay, so for this part. Okay, so I can tell this is like sort of trying to fit in with the theme of unexpected drop, right? But I do think it comes a tiny bit too suddenly. So maybe some sort of indicator, maybe just that like that thing that's being like thrown in the drop, maybe that could be like reverbed in, and then like you could turn the reverb slowly down as it goes. But yeah, I was not expecting that. Number 2. I think you also could use a bit more high end on the initial downbeat. Because right now it's just the electric piano chord that's being played with the kick and hi-hat. And sometimes no hi-hat. So I think maybe like a tiny crash cymbal that's being cut off there could do the trick. If you do want to get more generic, you could replace that chord with a super saw, kind of give it some more high end. Or maybe you could even just layer it on just the highs of it. Just to kind of give it that more initial impact. Yeah, this section's really cool though, really unique. The beat repeat on this build-up is really, really cool. You know what I'm gonna say? I was not expecting that. So yeah, I think just some sort of indication that something like that is coming, like the halftime sort of like color-based dubstep feel here. Maybe like some band toss drums in the middle that are playing that sort of rhythm. Yeah, I think that sort of thing could help indicate that this type of drop is coming up. I'm gonna get really nitpicky here, but that note right there. The vocal or whatever kind of vocal lead that you're using is a little bit flat, so I think you could really benefit from tuning that up to the correct pitch. Really, really cool and unique song though. I like how the concept of you and I like comes in later in the song. I think that's really cool. Interesting outro as well. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about when the drums need to be punchy. Like, this is not too punchy. This is like perfect almost. Drums really, really stand out, and yeah, sounds great. I think so. To sum it up, just kind of indicate that the drops are coming a little bit more. I got that the build-up is there. I think it's less important for the first drop. Yeah, I think the first drop is somewhat more of like a shock factor, right? So I think maybe like the second and third drops you could do the things I like maybe suggested. Like for the second drop, the being like reverbed, and then the reverb gets slowly gone. Like slowly more dry. And then for here, maybe like the drums could be like an indication of a style change. Well, yeah, overall, very, very good song. Thank you so much for your submission. C total or virtual, I guess. Thank you, thank you. Alright, next up we have Crescents by Lee Tattle. Alright, hold on. Let me take a sip of water though. Doing a lot of talking today. Alright. Alrighty. Oh, description? Yeah, you're right. One sec. There we go. Oh, whoops. Was it shift? Okay, there we go. Oh. There we go. Perfect! Alright. Let's take a listen, shall we? So yeah, it just sort of goes right into it, doesn't it? Yeah, I think the fade in is a little bit sudden. If you were to do the fade in before the section, it would sound better. But again, it's just sort of going right into it. So, yeah, I do think it could use an intro. It does sound compressed, kind of like the a few songs ago. Check your master channel. It really does sound like you have default fruity limiter on it. I would recommend something else. So not much is happening in this section melodically, but I think that's okay because you have that hi-hat sort of keeping the rhythm grounded here. Again, it comes back to the concept of melody, harmony, and rhythm. So the melodic content is lacking rhythm, but you have the hi-hat there to kind of keep everything grounded into place. Got a bit loud there. Really cool melody here, and I really like the textures that are in the background with the arp. Yeah. Okay, so this is something we talked about with Pandar's song, but it's all honestly kind of similar to like, hold on, where'd it go? Here? Yeah, so something like this section, or it dies down, and then it's like one sort of thing there in the foreground. So I think if it wasn't, like, if it was just one single bar right here instead of, I believe that's 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah. So instead of 3 beats, if it was just one bar, I think it would sound a lot more grounded into place. And then right here as well. Instead of having that fill there, if you cut off the build up 2 beats earlier and then put the fill there instead, it would sort of feel more grounded and more like it's supposed to be there. definitely needs more stuff opening up for this like main section. Maybe whether that be like a pad or like chords in the background, or like a crash, impact, downlifter, something like that to start this section off and kind of differentiate it from the previous sections. Okay. Yeah, so I believe yeah, so again with the compression thing, just check your master, see if you have anything on it. Cause it does sound a little bit shaky. Yeah, and then again, with the whole introducing concept that we talked about with the last track, if you were to sort of introduce the drum breaks beforehand, so maybe like a amen break filtering down, and then like a drum fill before the section changes. So yeah, I mean, work on those transitions, clean up the master or whatever is making it feel a little shaky. And try and clean up the what would you call it, structure of this section right here. So either wait a full bar here or just go straight into it. And then put this drum fill before, like 2 bars earlier, and then kind of shift everything so it's on beat. But yeah, really cool, like sound, setting for this track. Yeah, kind of has that like cyberpunk feel to it, but it's still like drum and bass, which is really cool. Track review has turned into Take Off Fruity Limmer. It's true though, a lot of people seem to ignore it. But it does mess with the entire feel of your track. Alrighty. Ugh, I think I might need another break. Oh, Fruity Limiter. So Fruity Limiter is basically what every project in FL is loaded with if you're using the default template. And the default setting for it, I use Ableton but use the limiter on the master, yeah. So check your limiter settings, and make sure the attack and release aren't turned up too high, because it kind of seems like that. Yeah, the default settings for Fruity Limiter on FL, it has like a higher attack and release and doesn't end up sounding too clean. Okay, I'm gonna rest my voice for like 3 minutes. I'll be right back again and we'll get through this final stretch. BRB! Alrighty. Alrighty. We are back. Ah, okay. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 10, 11. We can do 11 more. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, next submission is... Oh. Take up the pen. Is First Sound by Flying Gnat. So yeah, this is a Discord submission, so let's take a listen to this, shall we? Okay, so first thing I'm noticing here, the lead, or I guess the entire track is a bit quiet. Maybe I just need to turn it up more, but yeah, I like how the lead is playing with the pluck, or I guess some xylophones, alright, like marimba sound in the background, as well as the soft kick. It all works nicely together. And I do like the pitch bend of it as well. There's just one thing about it is, I think the pluck is a bit louder than the lead, which it feels like it should be more of a background element. And I'm also getting some clashing notes in when the lead is playing the E major chord. So it's not necessarily a clashing chord, but that A, I think over there it's fine. Yeah, okay. Also this F right here, so it goes F, G, A right there on top of the C major chord. So there's a couple things called avoid notes if you study music theory. So basically if you're actually I'll just play it on piano. So if you're in C major and you play a C major chord. So the problem with this is that sounds very good together, the A on the melody. But if you were to play an F on the melody, you got some sort of dissonance right here, even though it's in key. It sounds a little bit off because in C major there's C, E, and G, and then if you play the E and F together, you got the minor second like dissonance to it. So try and avoid that F if you can. Also in the A minor, it's a bit less there for the A minor, but it's still there a little bit. That plot kind of sounds like it's from Omori. Yeah, very, very cute. I think it could use some more body in the lower register though, because the pluck is high and the lead is high. There is that sort of like acid bass sort of in the lower register, but it's kind of quiet. So either bring that more out or something to fill up that space in the frequency spectrum. The chops are really cool too. Yeah, really pleasant like soundtrack vibes there. Yeah, I do think it could use some more body in that lower register to kind of fill it up. As well as some I think the percussion is a little bit light, could go a bit more on the percussion. It is just that kick. Adding some varieties, maybe some like shakers or something small and cute to kind of fit the general theme of the song. So yeah, thank you so much for your submission, Flying That. Thank you, thank you. Alrighty. Next song is from Sad Keyboard Guy and Gardens. It's called does that say Nekopara? But anyways. Let's give this a listen, shall we? Okay, right off the bat, really, really epic melody, right? I do think the chord progression is tiny bit lacking though in these resolutions. Yeah, just the second half of the chord progressions every time. So when you go from the B flat, so going back to the D minor here kind of makes it feel a little bit like, cause you're coming off of the D minor, going back kind of makes it feel like it's ending, right? I don't know, that's just sort of the feel I got from it, or maybe it's how it's voiced in this song. But yeah, so I'm feeling like it should go back to the B flat or go down to G minor or something like that. And then there yeah, and then it has the spicy chord. So I think if it were to instead follow more, how would I describe this? Like, I guess it sort of feels like it's just kind of forced in there, the spicy chord, rather than a sort of flowing into it. So yeah, I think the chord progression feels a little bit like unorganized, I guess. But I really do love this lead that's sitting on top of it. The grace note too. What's a grace note? So it's basically like a tiny note that you play before like a note. So it will be, where was it? You see how it, instead of just going, it goes. So that's what a grace note is. Really cool build up. I think it could go a little bit more though. I feel like it's just going. It's getting there, but I think it might like need to go a little bit more on those high passes and risers. I'm being really picky here because I know these two names. So yeah, I'm gonna be really picky here. That fill is really cool though, the kind of fan tossed hardstyle kick. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of switching styles here. I do think smoothing out those transitions could have helped a lot with this drop. Yeah, they're very like contrasting, right? And I get that that's like supposed to be like the point. Is the parts in the drop are supposed to be contrasting, but like genre changes like we talked about before can this is a little bit better because it's all in the same BPM, but because it's shifting so often, there needs to be something keeping it all grounded together. So maybe it's in the hard style section. If you had that like, I guess psy trance bass, like if you had that playing in the hard style section, I think it would all tie in very nicely together. Because you also kind of have that like like chugging sound in this section as well. Also, I just saw this is a 6-minute 57-second song, so probably not gonna be able to listen to all of it. I'm very sorry. Yeah, it's just the chord progression. The way it goes back to the D minor. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like it weakens the chord progression because you're kind of doing two of the same chord, going from D minor to F to D minor again. So one thing you'll notice about D minor and F major, they share. So D minor 7 shares 3 of the same notes as any sort of F major chord. So it's all very similar texture. So when if you're sort of going from D to F, I think you need to really make sure when you're voicing it to really bring out that E natural if you're doing F major 7. Yeah, they have the same function. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Same function chord. I believe it's like subdominant chord, or something like that. Yeah, but they have the same function, so they sound very similar to each other. So yeah, that's something I think you could keep in mind in the future. I love how the ARP in the background is just sort of peeking out. And I do think it could peek out a little more as it goes on though. Same with the violin. I know I see you guys mentioning it a lot. Because I know a lot of their friends are here right now. But I do think that violin could stand out a little bit more, sort of buried in the background. Okay, really interesting textures happening here. I think it's the drums though. The drums are lacking body. They sound a little bit thin. I think especially that snare. Well, yeah, the kick and the snare. They could stand out a tiny bit more, I think. It's really cool that this is sort of like the theme of today is like punchy drums. But yeah, especially if you're going for a section as bold as this, the drums need to kind of stay grounded and like keep everything organized. And also, I think it might be lacking a little bit of sub-bass to kind of tie everything together. A lot of really interesting ideas here, though. Yeah, and then let's do the next part. Yeah, again, it's the drums. The drums need to be at the forefront of the mix for a genre like this. Yeah, that melody and the chord stack is so big and amazing. But the drums aren't there to support it, right? So it's just lacking in that regard. Yeah, alright. I think I'll stop here for now because it is a very long song. But thank you so much for your submission to Gardens. Thank you for submitting that. Thank you. Alrighty. Next up, we have NCS type beat from DM8. Alrighty, let's go. Okay, I just do want to point this out because it is kind of bothering me a little bit, but, you know, I see a lot of people commenting on the previous track and really praising it a lot. I get that it's a really cool song, but yeah, I don't think it's very beneficial to support your friends. Well, okay, I said the wrong thing there, but I don't think it's really beneficial to just not point out stuff like the drums not being loud enough and stuff like that, and instead just like kind of be loud about the parts that you do like. There's just not a lot of improvement to be made if you keep focusing on that. I didn't really want to bring this up, but I do see so many comments in the chat right now that are doing that, and yeah, I get that you're all friends and stuff. But yeah. It is a feedback stream. I'm going to try and make suggestions to improve the song that's being heard right now. So, yeah, just kind of blindly making those statements. I get that you want to support your friends and do stuff like that, but it doesn't really help in terms of like growing, right? Yeah, it's not constructive. That's a good way to put it. So yeah, I really love that y'all are able to do that though. It's like the praise really does, you know, keep you motivated. But it's not gonna help you improve, I think. Yeah, unless you're being like specific about it, but just, you know, like, oh, this is so good, this is so good. Stuff like that. So I just felt like that needed to be said a little bit, just because it was kind of flooding the chat a little bit. But yeah, let's move on to this song, shall we? Your ears are not as good as experience, so I just say they all sound good. Yeah, that's fine. The stuff like that's fine, and that's why we're talking about it in a feedback stream, right? Because I mean, I imagine people submitted because they trust my ears. And I don't even fully trust my ears, honestly, but I have been producing for like 8 years or so now, which is a crazy long time. So I picked up on a few things here and there, and I'd really like to help y'all benefit out of the stream, not just like, yeah. All right, well, okay, let's go back to the song. Yeah, so so far what I'm getting is it's missing a main melody, right? I feel like vocals would be perfect for this song. Because right now it's just chords and the drums. So and a couple cool effects here and there. So again, going back to the three essentials: melody, harmony, and rhythm. So you have harmony and rhythm, but no melody yet. So I think vocals would really fit the spot here. Cool fill there. Okay, so a couple things so far. I think it needs to sound. It already sounds pretty big, right? It sounds pretty big. I think it's not big enough though. Like the kick is kind of small. Coupled with the big sidechain with a small kick. So like the sidechain doesn't really fit the kick is what I'm getting. And as well as just maybe if you did want to keep this kick, I would shorten the sidechain so it wouldn't be so much empty space before the, you know, everything comes in. And I think this might be just like a mastering thing or maybe some effects to kind of fill in the space, but it just needs, everything needs to be bigger. The ARP here really fills up the space. And the hi-hat as well. Love the reverb at the end, really fits in nicely. Yeah, this part's really chill. I like it. I like the little like percussion. That's I feel like that really helps with the groove here. But yeah, again, I do think it's missing vocals. That'll be a really key element to here. Pretty good fake out there. Yeah, so again, I think it might be the kick, I think it might be the sidechain, maybe a little bit of mixture of both. But yeah, it'll kind of help really make or break a song for having the right sidechain and the kick for it. I also do think you could add a bit more to just like fill up the song. So like maybe some crowd noise or some like crash or just like effects, sweep down, sweep up, stuff like that to kind of fill it up. And yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't give like proper feedback on this. I'm still kind of thinking about like what happened during the last one. And yeah, I think I might just end the stream here. I will make up for it. I will do this one and the rest of the ones that I didn't get to today. Maybe tomorrow. And if I can't do it tomorrow, I will be sure to put it on the schedule for next week. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up here for today. Thank you so much for joining me. So it's been a lot of fun. I got to hear lots of different songs from you guys. And I hope my feedback was at least a little bit beneficial. And yeah, thank you. And thank you to everyone for joining membership as well. Really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated about when I'll do the next part of it. There's only a few songs left, so it'll be probably a bit shorter. And I think I could fit it in tomorrow, maybe. But yeah, I'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. And bye-bye. Outro! Woo!